Am I the a-hole for refusing to get rid of the evidence of my ex's infidelity? Trigger warnings: destruction of property, emotional abuse and manipulation, revenge porn. I, 52M, used to be married to my ex Candy, 52F, and I loved her very much. We met in our teens when she moved into the neighborhood right before high school, and I instantly had a crush on her but didn't actually make a move until our senior year. We got married shortly after she graduated college and had 3 children together: Laura, 26F, Tom, 23M, and Marie, 21F. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought Candy was happy with the family and life we created. However, I was wrong. Candy was bored with me and wanted more excitement, but instead of confessing her feelings and thoughts to me, she went looking elsewhere. According to her, it all started when Candy and her friends went on a girls' trip to Vegas for a weekend where she got drunk and had some fun with 2 male strippers. Candy said that while nothing happened beyond second base, it awakened something in her and she regretted not going further. A year after that, she started going to bars and clubs for excitement and eventually started hooking up with other men, and at least 2 of her girlfriends would cover for her. I was never the wiser and probably would still be married to Candy if one of her lovers hadn't secretly documented their moments together. He was mad that she had another guy on the side and mailed the evidence to me as revenge. I was sick at seeing all the things that I did and didn't respond well. I filed for divorce and my lawyer used some of the evidence that I was given in court, but not all of it because it wasn't necessary. I still have all the evidence that I was given and just kept it in the attic. Recently, my youngest made some not so great choices with an ex-boyfriend and I ended up having to get a lawyer for her. I am amazed at how much the laws have changed, but I'm glad my daughter is protected. After it was over, I had a serious sit down with her and told her to be more mindful and that she should always be prepared for this to hang over her head even if the law is on her side, because some guys just don't care. This was a long and deep conversation and I admitted to Marie about how I found out her mom cheated and let it slip that I still had the evidence. 2 days later, Candy was banging at my door demanding that I give her everything I had and yelled at me for keeping it. I reminded her that those things were given to me and it was made before the law prohibited it, so as long as I don't upload and share it anywhere, or sell it to anyone, I'm legally in the clear. Candy went crying to our adult children. Marie is fully on her side, which is expected, but Tom and Laura are a little different. When asked why, I told my children that I keep it as a reminder of why I should never care about their mother. Tom feels that since I've never done anything with it before and so long as I don't, that it's okay, while Laura says that she prefers I trash it, she won't cut me off like Marie threatened, so I'm asking, am I the a-hole? Edit 2. The amount of people here who keep asking me the same question as if I didn't already answer in the post is annoying. You can keep asking me why do I still have it, but just know that going further I will ignore it. You not liking the answer or not understanding it isn't my problem. I'd also like to thank the people who rightfully pointed out that I should hang on to it for legal purposes, since it is technically evidence that it was a good idea, and I have since explained it to my oldest 2 who will pass it along to my ex-wife and my youngest. Also, please stop insulting my youngest daughter or saying that she's just like her mom and deserved what she went through. My ex was recorded doing something she shouldn't with someone she should not have. That was her choice and what came out from it is on her. Marie never sent anything to her ex. He recorded her when she was with him without her knowing and only told her when she tried to break up with him as a way to keep her in the relationship. Marie is understandably very sensitive to this issue, so I'm giving her space and I don't believe that she'd actually cut me off. Relevant comments. OP clarifies on the timeline when the recording was taken. OP: no. She was well into adulthood when the evidence was taken. Why would you think that? Commenter 1, NTA. Aside from your son, I'm disappointed in your daughters. If I were them, I would be more concerned that was how you found out that my mom was cheating. Like, how horrible. OP: I'm giving Marie a pass because of her recent experience, but I know Laura had the toughest time with the divorce and still gets a little anxious whenever her mom and I attend the same events, so I think she just wants it all to go away. Commenter 2. Resentment and bitterness build the cage that only punishes ourselves. Let that ish go and move on with your life, and don't drag your kids, who are a part of you and a part of her, into this. OP: I'm not dragging our kids into this. She is one to cry to them about how I won't give her the tapes. She dragged them into it when she chose to cheat. She dragged them into this when tried to blame me for the divorce. Commenter 3. AITAH: and that is so creepy. It's like you are holding on to it, so if she is ever happy in a relationship, then you will pull it out to show the guy. Move on. OP: she is in a relationship with someone else, has been for at least 3 years, and I've never shown it to the guy and never will, because then my ex would have a case against me. However, if he ever asked me to verbally confirm anything, I would not hold back on the details. Update. 3 months later. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but since someone messaged me, I thought I'd share. Don't know if I'll give another update after this one though. Long story short, my ex got arrested and my ex is facing charges. For details, please continue reading. Context. I had a security to which my children know the security code to, but for unimportant reasons there was a switch in the company, and when I upgraded I was given a new code and security pad to put it in. Also, at the advice of the people installing the new, I moved it to another spot. I told my oldest 2 kids what the new code was in person, as I don't like texting that type of stuff in fear of phone hacking, and since my youngest daughter wasn't talking to me and didn't want to hear from me, she didn't know about the change in codes. Now on to what happened. I left town for a trip I'd scheduled a while back that my youngest daughter was aware of. This trip was going to be about 7 days long, so my neighbors knew to keep their eyes peeled for anything suspicious. 2 days into my trip I got an alert that my house was being broken into. The company calls and I tell them that I did not enter my home and wasn't expecting anyone. My neighbors also called the authorities. I could tell by the security cam that it was my ex-wife and she had someone else there, but I didn't recognize them. The authorities had detained my ex, who insisted that it was all a simple misunderstanding, and I told them over the phone that it wasn't, and I wanted to press charges, and then laughed when the call was over. I laughed a lot. Hard, and to the point where I was in tears and struggling to breathe. There was something about my trashy ex getting punished by the law that felt so liberating to me, but my joy took a pause when I started getting calls from my youngest. Turns out she gave the old security code to her mom with the intent to search my home for the tapes while I was gone and get them. My ex went on a different day than what was planned, don't know why, and that's how everything happened. My daughter asked me not to press charges, but I went forward with it. My daughter was angry with me and we got into an argument where she blamed me for still having the tapes and telling her that I had the tapes. We haven't really spoken since, but my other daughter convinced me to go to therapy, and after a couple of sessions, I discovered that one of the reasons why I held on to the tapes was because I never felt as if my ex was punished enough for what she did. She never apologized, never showed remorse, made excuses, and that has always pissed me off, and it's also why I'm refusing to drop the charges. I'm still processing what all this means, but that's how it is right now. Relevant comments. OP explains more about his state laws about the evidence he has and the charges against the ex. OP, I don't know where you're at, but where I live my lawyer said I'm in the clear because the DVDs were made before there were laws against it. Also, I'm not dropping the charges. She broke into my house, that's a crime, with the intent to steal, that's a crime, and damage some of my property during the attempt, that's a crime. I don't know how my daughter would be able to testify against me without getting herself into hot water, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Why is OP's ex around him and the family? OP, the kids. Technically they're adults now, but I still see her at events because the kids want us both there. Sucks, but it's just one of those things that you gotta put up with as a dad. Commenter. Wouldn't that make the daughter an accessory to the break-in since she gave her mother the security code, knowing that her mother was going to break into his house?